Welcome to the Green Talk, where we explore the tools, stories, and people shaping the future of the green industry. I'm your host, Misraim Mata, and today I'm joined by someone whose careers spans the high level, the strategy, and hands, and the dirt leadership. Richard Perel is the CFO and Director of Operations at Better Green LLC, a company that is been making serious moves in sustainable landscaping across the Middle Tennessee. He is also involved at the global level with the United Nations Global Compact Network US, where he helps drive ESG, environmental, social, and governance priorities for business nationwide. But today's episode isn't just about titles, it's about the journey. So we are talking with Richard about leadership, sustainability, and what it really takes to grow green businesses with purpose. So Richard, welcome to the Green Talk. It's great to have you here. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. Appreciate you having me.
Awesome. Thank you, Richard, for willing to join the journey of the podcast. I really appreciate it. So let's start, Richard, from the beginning. Before Vera Green, before the UN, what originally drew you into this space?
Yes. Truthfully, it started early 2000s. Scott's actually did a TV show about turfgrass management at the MLB level. And so I was currently playing baseball at the time, and that was back when DVR kind of came out, and recorded it and came home and had aspirations to be in the sports management field. And so I was always playing baseball, played baseball through college. And so at that time, you play on a nice field. And so I always had a passion for it, and, found myself in the residential lawn care side. And so at that point, the career kind of took off.
Awesome. And there was a moment where you knew sustainability and operations were going to be part of life work? Any specific moment?
Yeah. So truthfully, I worked for Weedman Lawn Care, a national company in the early 2010s, and again grew a love for it and saw a purpose in what we were doing. Because again, at the end of the day, we were servicing the clients and providing them a sense of peace, so they can kind of go out and enjoy their time on lawns. And so you start to see that you can make a career out of this. And truthfully, I got my first leadership opportunity in the mid 2010s, and moved up to Indianapolis, and ran the office up there for, again, what was at the time Central Illinois Turf. And at the time, again, when you are able to get in a career and get into a field, and you wake up and don't dread going to work every day, you're like, okay, like, this is it, like, this is fun. And so kept that same passion, kept the same energy till truthfully we're where we are today.
Yeah, I feel you. I think many of us went through a similar story, right? Where you just feel it and say, "This is it. I'm going for it." Yeah,
That's
awesome.
right.
That's pretty cool, man. So, and there was any specific challenge early on that kind of tested you or help you on how to lead today your operations or your teams?
Yeah, so I think it truthfully goes back to kind of I'm going to say it a lot, my baseball days. Being part of a team there, and being a captain in a lot of the teams I was on, kind of helped shape, putting your team first. And on a ball field, there's 9 players on the field. If one person wins and everybody else has a bad day, or I could have a career day of 3 home runs, but we still lost. And so, doing that, putting the team first, and realizing what we do is not me, right? It's us. And so, there's no me without my team. And so, putting that into play with those guys. And then, again, it's just truthfully just finding the right team, and putting them first, and letting them know that they have a voice. And that's allowed us to kind of get to where we are today.
Yeah, awesome. I really like that mentality of it's not about me, it's about us, right? It's about the team. It's important that part of the whole formula for be success on the teams. Excellent. So let's talk about the before. I mean, not the before. Moving on, Very Green. You help scale the company into a high performance, sustainable service business. What were some of the biggest lessons you learned in this process, Richard?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing that has helped create us and help us be successful is, growing on, growing, we hire for growth. We don't hire in reaction of growth. So again, we talk about sustainability. It's allowed us to create no turnover, truthfully. And it's allowed us to kind of really, really enhance in our recruiting of our people to where, our team at Green has an average of 12 years experience in the industry. And so our least experienced guy on our team has been doing this for 5 years, with a new guy starting actually tomorrow with the same amount of experience. And so as we've continued to grow, we're not sacrificing our clients' service, because again, we are hiring in reaction to what we're planning to do in our business plan. So I've hired proactively instead of reactively, and so kind of like our pre-emergence, we put those down before things happen. As to where oftentimes in my career up until this point, I've always hired reactively, and so we're able to keep our clients first.
Awesome. I mean, I really like that. I'm gonna highlight it. Hiding proactively instead reactively.
Correct.
That's pretty awesome, man. That's pretty cool. That's great. And so, in our industry, right, sustainability often feels like it is an add-on, right? Many people don't like to hear that or pursue that path. How do you manage to bake it into the core of Green's operations and still making money?
Yeah, I mean, again, it goes back to your planning. So understanding where you are financially and making sure that in your services you're charging properly. Because again, we do offer high level services, but it's also being involved with our guys. And so again, up until the past 2 weeks, we've been operating for a little over 4 years, and we just put our first dollar towards recruiting in 4 years. And so, doing that, we're providing a place of peace for our team, because again, they have the same passion of what we're doing, and so then they tell their people who they've been working with for a long time that we have a culture that we set, and at that time, it's like, okay, now you got friends wanting to come in. Well, now we're creating a fun work environment. Well, now we're creating a culture where what we do internally shines externally. And so, talking with them, making sure that what they need on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis is provided to them. And they're not, this week we're doing one thing, this week we're doing the next thing. Oh, I need this. Hey, Richard, I'm still needing this. Richard, I'm still needing this. It's being available and dependable, not only for our clients, but for our team, which again, we put our people at the highest level. They're going to do that in return to their clients.
Yeah, awesome. And have you faced any challenge in order to do all these great things? I'm pretty sure you have, but do you want to share with us like a couple of them, and how you really were able to go around and still be successful with your teams?
Yeah, and it's going to be a different type of challenge, but we do have a lot of high level people, and so when you have high level employees want more, and so a lot of the challenges we have is, how do we create opportunity? Because I mean, every person in our company can't be a manager, right? We have high level people, and so it's really investing into our people and creating a plan for them. Maybe not for this year, maybe not for next year, and creating a blueprint for our team to where we're not losing high level people, right? Because again, you need your professionals and you need your leaders in any business, and so I have a lot of leaders, and it's creating different levels of opportunity for them, but keeping them also engaged in the day to day. Because if you get to the next level, you're in the week to week, month to month, and you're looking at a whole different future. So being very involved in a lot of high level talent and being intentional about what we're doing with our guys and keeping them engaged to where we're not having to do that, a lot of the turnover, because again, I have a team qualified to do a lot of high level positions in our industry. And, again, there's no me without them, and I'm blessed to have them. So,
I guess it's a good challenge that many of us would like to have, right? Dealing with high level performance
yep,
people.
yep.
That's something that it is challenging, but for sure it's a good challenge to have. And uh, any specific way to practice or thing that you do with your high level performance and they feel like maybe someone that wanted to be a manager, but you know maybe it's not the right thing for him yet. But how you keep someone still happy to be able to do what he's doing in the field when he may want to do more?
Yeah, I do a lot of challenging directly. And again, one of the things that I took for granted in early leadership was I'll do a 1-to-1 each month, right? I'll do a 1-to-1 each quarter. But really diving into the investment of the guys and saying, all right, let's meet biweekly, right? Every 2 weeks, let's meet. What's your next challenge this week, right? Where do we fall short? And so it's really viewing their performance in total, not just you service the lawn properly, right? A lot of people in leadership in the lawn care industry, we can train people to do what we do. But one of the things you can't train is drive. You can't train, the give a crap mentality to wake up every day, sell yourself to come to work and do an excellent job for your first job or your 20th job, whatever it may be. So it's really challenging them directly and being involved and just, having touch points in between those meetings to say, how are we doing? Where are we at? And then, we're blessed to have Ramsey here in town in Nashville. So we do a leadership roundtable each month to where completely optional to the guys. If they want to sleep in that day, go for it. But we find some form of, whether it be time management, whether it be, growing leaders, some form of round table to say, let's get together. We bring in breakfast at 6 a.m. and whoever wants to be involved in it, let's grow your leadership skills. So where when that opportunity comes, well, we've already been working on this for the past, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe even a year. And so, we had a really good, this past one was growing leaders, right? And in our industry, we don't get to the next role by production, right? We get to the next role by reproduction. And so, everyone gets so focused on the rat race of, well, I do 30 jobs a day. Well, I do 25 jobs a day. Perfect. What are we doing to reproduce you to where you're not becoming irreplaceable? So it's that doing that, and again having a voice of what we're doing, even round to round, even job to job, allows them to feel more than just what we would call a cost of good on a day to day basis.
That's awesome. I really like those concepts, man. I mean, in another episode, I have a conversation with Ellie Simitra from California, and very similar concept on how to approach high level performance people and challenge them to just kind of keep up with what they're doing, and so to be able to provide them the path they need or they want. So another thing that I want to highlight that you say that was about bringing some snacks or food to them, and just kind of have some common ground right in the middle, so they can feel comfortable and be open to this conversation. So great feedback, great input, man. Appreciate it.
No problem.
So let's talk about your personal leadership. So you wear both hats, operational and financial. So, as a CFO and director of operations, how do you balance the spreadsheets with the people side of leadership?
I hire people who are better than me at what I do. So no, we just, it goes back to hiring reactively. We got Brad Raby. He's my production manager. He came on and he's really taken the role of being in the field, being in the training, hopping in a truck with them and doing a full route with them. So he has 20 years of experience in what we're doing. And so he's kind of taken on the day-to-day development growth. And then my admin, Sean, she's been incredible. She was a GM for a bigger lawn care franchise here in town, and really wanted the locally owned and operated feel. So, as having a GM role and understanding the spreadsheets and understanding billing and essentially everything that goes behind the scenes there, and Brad kind of enhancing the production side, we've got a really great groove going. And again, it's just continuing to find ways to invest in them, but also keep them challenged to where, as leaders, we work on the business, not in it. And we kind of stay in the lane of where we're needed at the time. So, Brad and Sean they make my life a living easy. And then the guys doing the work make my life even more living easy. So,
That's awesome. Yeah, it's important to have a good team around you, right? Also, good leaders, good people. That's great. And I'm pretty sure that with your team, boots in the ground, and the leadership group as well, you have had some major wins. Do you have one personal achievement in your journey that you are most proud of?
yeah, this one was hard, truthfully, because even when I was with Weedman, again, it's a national franchise. My office won an award for most improved. And what that just meant is from the year before and then the year I took over, we were one of the top customer retention offices in the United States. And so, that was a really big win. But the one I had to go with was truthfully the culture that um, my team and myself have created at Green to allow a fun but professional work environment. And again, it's when you have individuals who they aren't the Eeyores walking into the office and we're actually excited to be there. And that's from the newest hire up until myself. That doesn't happen overnight. And so being able to really incorporate it from day one until today of what we do is beautiful and what we do provides beauty to the place around us, and having the guys appreciate what they do on a daily basis and appreciate when they go back to a lawn and it's beautiful comparative to the first time they stepped on it 6 months ago. Creating that culture, creating that environment, and creating the opportunities for a work-life balance for our guys, I couldn't ask for much more. Because again, all of our team has been a part of a really big commercial branch where I was in the same seat they were. I was a cost of good at the time, and so creating a work life balance, but really kindling the flame of each person that walks through that door to love what they do and love where they are. And again, life is too short to not. So that's probably the biggest accomplishment is the culture that we've established at Green.
That's awesome, man. That's good to care for people and to promote that life balance. Work life. Both are important, and we have to keep it a good balance between both of them. And do you have any particular routine that you want to share with us, like something that Richard does, if not every day, very often with your teams, like something that you particularly, maybe, I don't know, something in particular?
There's a lot of joking in the office every day. We keep it light, so that's when you get when a group of guys and Sean's our mom. She keeps us in line, but we have a lot of good times. But truthfully, it's a really not particularly truthfully. We're people. Everything changes, and if we plan something in our industry, good luck on it going the right way. Because again, adversity is the biggest thing we face in the lawn and landscape industry. And if a plan goes accordingly, go play the lottery that day. But no, we just do. I would say probably one of the biggest things we do is some form of team bonding each month. Rather that be a cookout, rather that be we just go to lunch one day, just the team meets at somewhere to go to lunch. Rather we do a team breakfast. It's finding ways to get every person in our company in the same room and not be stressed out about going to the next place. So, doing that allows everyone to really understand their team at a different level and not just, oh, we're just the team going out and doing fertilizer weed control. Oh, we're just not the team going out and doing aeration and seeding. And so really taking the time we talk about investing in our people. And so taking the time for them to get to know each other, right? We can have one-on-ones as much as we want to, but are we letting our team get to know each other, right? Because again, the culture is evolved around your team. And so I think that's the biggest thing we do that I would recommend to anybody is just find time. And again, it's hard to do in our industry, right? A sunny day is a sunny day. We got to take advantage of them, especially here in Nashville this year when you're 11 inches above average of rain. It's
True.
hard to say, hey, let's cut it off at 1 o'clock today. Let's come back and let's do a cookout, right? Because you don't know what the next week has. But I'll tell everyone, those 2 hours. Let's say you get 5 jobs, 6 jobs done. What in hindsight are those 6 jobs worth than building your team culture, right? So it's are those 6 jobs, whatever that number of revenue is for you, is that worth what you're going to get out of a team bonding experience for that one day? And so not necessarily viewing what you're doing as the bottom line as far as, how much revenue are we making this day, as to what am I doing for my team? Because they're going to enjoy that 1 o'clock day. They're like, oh, I can go play some cornhole and eat a hamburger, right?
Yeah.
And then again, it makes them feel, hopefully, right? And I'm pretty sure it does. I'm not going to speak for them, but like they're more than just the person in the seat of that truck.
Yeah.
So, long answer, but
No, great, man. Great. I really like, I mean, just, highlighting things, finding ways, right?
Mhm.
It's always going to be a way to recognize, to compensate, and to make sure that all people feel appreciated for what they're doing, and make them feel part of the organization, part of the team, part of the group. So no, thank you for sharing that, man. It's
Yeah.
really great ideas for the people out there listening this episode. So let's zoom out, or kind of focus a little bit on your role, kind of on this global compact, UN global impact, compact. How is this helping business to take real steps to kind of go green? What is those steps that local companies should take care?
Yeah, for us, one of the biggest ventures down we're going is kind of the environmental side of it. Because again, when you talk about fertilization, weed control, um, it can be a pretty touchy situation with the weed control side of things. And so weed control is always a soil based reaction to something going on. And so we're really trying to take the environmental side of using biologicals and using a lot of natural organic ingredients to put into the soil to create a better home for what we call our home for our roots. And so doing that, you have a homeowner who comes up and say, what are you spraying? Well, we're actually at this time spraying branched chain amino acids, the same thing that we drink at pre-workout or during a workout, right? We're putting that in the lawn. And so it's allowed us to become cleaner, for ourselves as a company. And again, it's also the benefits that we're getting from using it is essentially the same thing as we get in our human bodies putting into it, right? And so the biggest way that we're really incorporating that is the environmental side, and trying to become a cleaner operation as far as the environment goes.
Great. And if a small landscape company wants to start going green, using all these new products, or not new products, but different products, sometimes can feel overwhelmed for them, right? So, what's one or two simple, meaningful first steps that a company can do for make this change, in your opinion?
Yeah, I would truthfully just look at what are your needs, right? And you can flip a switch and do everything at one time, but like you said, that gets very overwhelming. And so you could just say, what are my needs, right? And so if you're out mowing and you're doing the mowing, weed eating type things, all right, well, I have a bad weed eater. Fine, right? Let's look into the battery power operated ones, right? And see what does that look like, right? We do all battery powered backpack sprayers. Truthfully, the guys love them. They're more efficient. They save a lot more time, and you get a uniform spray. And
Yeah.
so, if you're going to just however you're looking at switching, sorry, what are my needs, right? Where am I at as a business, and where do I want to take my next opportunity? And so you just have to really take a step back and say, for us, it was battery powered backpacks, right? I'm not sitting here pumping a backpack sprayer all day trying to get the same pressure on the spray output. I just have it battery powered, and it's consistent. It lasts all day, and again, you're getting better uniforms. So really look at it. What are your opportunities? And every year in a landscape company, you're buying new products anyway, and so this year, all right, let me venture down into the battery, right? Let me venture down into the whatever brand that may be, and you'll start to see that, oh, this is kind of nice because gas
Mhm.
prices aren't going down anytime soon, and so you're like, oh, I can charge a battery and it's good for the day. And so then it's you don't get the phone call. These guys are weed eating at 6:30 a.m. in the morning, and it's just it goes back to what we're doing is it becomes cleaner, and your team starts to like it more, and you're like, oh, dang, I should have done this a long time ago. So
Yeah, I mean, something small like the backpack sprayers, battery operated. I mean,
uh,
could be small, but it makes a huge difference.
huge.
Easier for applicators, make your applications more accurate because you say it
Uh,
right.
uh,
After 12, 1 p.m., it's hard to keep that pressure going on the same way. Your body is feeling that the heat, everything else. So, yeah, I mean, a small change like that, it could be a good start, right, for everyone out there.
and we found, especially if you're in the landscape and doing the non-selective, right? Battery powers drip way less than your manual ones, and
Right.
so you're walking through a lawn or a property, and a lot of the times guys don't notice a drip, and you come back and there's just spot. You're like, what the heck happened here?
Right.
So there's a lot of benefits to it. And again, the first part for us was just the battery powered backpacks. And again, we've seen better results because again, your mix rates are the same. You're 4 gallons, and you're going to get it that 1 gallon per K. And so it just makes it a lot easier. And all we're trying to do is make the person in the seat's life easy, because when you make it difficult, everything else then becomes difficult. So that was the first step we took, and the guys love it.
True
So,
statement right there.
I
True
mean,
statement right
that
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's great.
but
And have you noticed any change using these sustainable practices with you clients? I mean, less complaints, probably any change on your clients, like maybe less worry about you putting pesticides, synthetic pesticide on the ground.
yeah, and truthfully, we've had our on average the least amount of callbacks this year. We average probably one service call a week at this moment, and we're in mid June. And so our service calls have substantially gone down. And so my goal when doing everything was we have to get rid of service calls, right? Service calls is a negative moment in a client's perspective because they're now having to call a company to either complain about something, or they're not happy about something, or whatever it may be. So when putting our program together, we had to say what's our biggest service call, right? Nutsedge. That's a big one for us. And so we incorporated that into our program to say we're done with it. And so it's we're trying to create the best customer experience that a homeowner can have and cut the service calls out, because the last thing that we need is a negative impact on our services to then create a inconvenience to a homeowner. And so if you're gonna be in, like we are in Nashville, there's probably 7 million lawn care companies here, maybe even 7 million in one. Who
Yeah.
knows? But what are we doing that's different, and what are we doing to make sure that we stay a convenience to the homeowner, who that way they still want to continue to have our services?
Yeah, totally. Great. So let's, before we wrap up this conversation, Richard, I always like to ask this. If you could give one piece of advice to someone, either entering the industry or being in the industry for a while, maybe looking into a leadership position in the industry, what will be that piece of advice from you?
So I'd be foolish to not kind of give a shout out to the one who helped me the most when I was a weed man. Bob Coulter was our business coach. And he really took the time in helping us understand how to lead people. And so if you've never had a business coach before and you're new into leadership, or if you've even been into leadership and you've never had a business coach to help teach it, I would by far recommend it, because that man himself helped me so much. And again, I worked with him from 2015 to 2021. And so, he was incredible to my growth, but it would be to find someone who has been in leadership for whatever amount of time and latch onto them. Because again, it goes back to a team, right? If you try to be a leader and you try to do it yourself, sorry, there's a lot more people in this world who are way smarter and way better at this than we are. And again, it's a way to have a person in your corner who can help you, and that can even be with a different perspective of a situation you got going on. But it would be that, and then read. I'm going to eat crow and say I don't read enough. And but the book I would recommend anyone getting into it is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Leaders. And so by Stephen S. Covey, because it talks about a lot of situations in that book that even that one little book will help you become a really, really high level beginning leader. You're creating win-wins for your team. You're beginning with the end in mind in all the conversations that you have. There's a lot of great opportunity for investment in yourself in that small little book. So find you a mentor or a business coach, and then really dive into the pages and continue to grow yourself. And when you feel like you're not growing anymore, keep growing, because again, complacency is the root evil of mediocrity. So the moment you become complacent, somebody out there is grinding a little bit harder. So
Yeah. Awesome, man. Great advice. Great advice. Thank you for sharing that, Richard. Appreciate it. And Richard, so people, where can people can find you or follow your work if they want to connect or learn more about Richard Pearl and Vera Green?
Obviously, our website is veragreen.com. I am on LinkedIn, Richard Pearl. I am the third on LinkedIn, so it'd be Richard Pearl the third. Again, I'm open to conversations. I'm open to meeting somewhere. I do a lot of traveling to continue to grow myself, and so if there's somewhere that even I could take my team to help learn from your operations, we'd love to do that. But Facebook and Instagram, it's Vera Green LLC, and then again, mine tag is Richard Pearl the third on LinkedIn, and again, love to talk to whoever will love to talk about lawn care. We get nerdy.
Awesome. Thank you, Richard, for being with us today. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode. If you like it, don't forget to subscribe, like, and subscribe. Share this. If you feel like someone can be benefit of everything we have talked today, just share it out there, and we will see you the next time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a blessing.
Okay.